Hey, hey, hey! Sorry
Hi.
you're a couple minutes late. I was having major tech issues. They shut off our power today from 12 o'clock to after 4 o'clock. Totally didn't realize that my computer was going to take forever to restart and have to recognize all my devices. So my bad. We're going to do an extra giveaway just for your patience with that. Hopefully they gave everybody time to jump in. Hey, 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 everybody. Good to see you tonight. Good to see you tonight.
Hello, hello.
Make sure that you give Facebook permission. Otherwise, you come up like this, Facebook user, and we can't see who you are. And it's really, really hard for us to award prizes if we can't see who you are. Drop a comment. Let us know who invited you here today, who's your Mary Kay Beauty Consultant or your Mary Kay Director. My name is Bree Gossett. I'm Senior Director at Mary Kay. Super excited for our very, very first Pink Table Talk. Look at us. We almost match, and that's a happy accident, as Bob Ross would say. Happy accident, because we weren't even expecting that. So I am so excited because I am kicking off this very, very first Pink Table Talk, our intro webisode, if you will, with one of my I said I was going to say oldest. One of my longest, because she's definitely not the oldest. We're almost the same exact age. One of my longest Mary Kay girlfriends. She was one of the first people I met when I started my business here. She has been like the mama mentor. She has homeschooled all of her kids, and 75% of them, 3 of the 4 are graduated already. She's down to 1. So I have cried many a tears on your shoulders, figuring out how am I going to teach these people to read and write and do math. Remember when I thought my daughter wrote like a serial killer, and I was literally in tears?
Oh, I had the same conversation with you about my own son. So yes, I totally get that.
Yes.
He's either going to be a serial killer or a doctor.
That's right. There was only 2 options at that point. So she has homeschooled, highly active in her church and spiritual life, and just so many other incredible things. But we're going to fast forward, because you've been in Mary Kay now how many years?
22.
22 years. So we're going to fast forward 20 and a half years and just look at the last year and a half or so, because I wanted to share with my clients, my Mary Kay girlfriends, just what a find a way, make a way woman looks like. And each week, my hope and goal, or I should say each episode, which we'll do this a couple times a month, is to expose people I love in these groups to women who I believe are living their life according to solid principles and aligning their life with their values, and people that people should know. Do you remember that time we heard Gloria say, "You want to know me?
You need to know me.
You need to know me." These are people that I think you need to know. And so we also wanted an extra chance for all of our customers. So starting the next time we are back here, which is next week, we're going to be doing some giveaways from our Sharing MK feedback. So if you've filled out a Mary Kay survey, you're going into our Wheel of Names, and we're going to be doing some big giveaways starting next week. So this is the first one. We're just introducing you to it. So we don't have that wheel, but I still have a couple of fun giveaways just for commenting. So make sure you drop in the comments who your consultant is, because we're going to be dropping we're going to be drawing some names from those comments. So Michelle Platt, tell everybody where you live now, because those of us that know you, you are not where you've always been.
No. Actually, almost now 8 months ago, we packed up from our lovely home in California that we lived in for 18 years and moved all the way across the country to Knoxville, Tennessee. So
Wow,
that's where I am now.
Went by fast.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 8 months. Good gravy.
That went by fast. Oh my goodness, 8 months ago. So
almost,
when you started your Mary Kay business, what was the reason you started? Just the quickest answer you can give, because I'm sure there are several.
Quick answer, money. My husband worked for the federal government, and we wanted to start having a family, and I wanted to be able to stay at home, and we knew that we wouldn't survive on his income. So it was just so I could make extra money.
Extra money. So
Mhm.
in the course of the past 22 years, you've definitely made extra money,
Yeah.
earned diamonds, free diamonds from Mary Kay. But it hasn't been without its challenges. So with everything that's happened the last couple of years, people have had to navigate so many different things. A lot of our viewers, a lot of our clients that are in our groups here tonight, they went from working in corporate regular office jobs to switching to working from home and distance learning their kids last year, which thankfully a lot of the kids have been able to go back to school. They had to do what you've been doing all this time and balancing it all. So I think it's really valuable to see what challenges, like at the dinner table when you do your highs and lows for the day, what have been your highs, lows? What challenges did you face this last year and a half? And how did you navigate those while working your business?
Well, that's a great question. So we had a lot go on. I had to actually write notes so I wouldn't forget anything because we had so much that happened in the last 18 months. Of course, we started off the pandemic, and that was tough for me because I am not a person who likes change in the first place. It's kind of challenging for me. And so the idea that we had to switch from being able to talk with people face to face to now working with them on Zoom, it formed two challenge. Well, it formed a challenge, but also at the same time, I was like, woo, because I'm a bit of an introvert. So I was like, I don't have to leave my house. Yes, I'm in. But at the same time, it was having to switch how I've done my business at that point in time for over 20 years. And I was not sure how I was going to be able to survive that. So I'm still not super tech savvy. I'm not a person who loves the whole idea of doing social media and all that thing. I just was like, but I got to figure this out because I needed some cash. And so that was kind of my mindset. Along the way, though, we had a lot of things that happened. So in 2020, what year is it? 2020. It's all kind of crazy here.
It's a blur.
But yes, in 2020, the first major change that happened is in May of 2020. I got a phone call from my mom. My mom had been dealing with heart condition for at that point in time. Oh, good gravy. Nearly 20 years at that point. No, actually, it's probably more than 20 years. So she'd had a heart condition, and we were anticipating her homegoing for a very, very long time. And in May, I got the phone call that we had been anticipating. She had already been in congestive heart failure for, at that point in time, 11 and a half months. Mm. And so most people don't live beyond a year when they get into congestive heart failure situation. And so we got the call. She said that she was having major chest pain and was going to go to the hospital. And if you know anything about my mom, my mother's a Marine, and Marines, they just soldier on no matter what. That was what my childhood was like. So, we did more before 9 a.m. than most people did all day when I was growing up. And, people always would, the whole your mama jokes, when you were a kid, and they would say, oh, your mama wears combat boots. I was like, so, it didn't bother me. But she was just like one of those people who just pressed on, never went to the doctor for anything. And when she called me and told me that she was going to the hospital, and then she texted me once she got there and they said they were admitting her, I knew that she was never coming out. She was not there for COVID. She was there because of what we thought was her heart condition. Turned out that she actually had lung cancer, which we were not even aware she had. And that was what ended up ultimately being her demise, was the lung cancer. So despite the fact that she'd had a heart condition, she had the congestive heart failure, she was taken by lung cancer. And so she spent the last 2 weeks of her life in the hospital. And of course, because of COVID, I did not get to go in and see her until one day when they thought she was going to pass. They were going to try to give me a few minutes with her. They said, you can come in for 2 hours. And that was it. And so, which was really hard. When I got there, she was totally not responsive. So I didn't even get to really talk with her during that time frame. It was just me with a person who was just kind of there. And that was really hard. You don't get to say goodbye and what have you, but I did get a phone call from her the next morning. Actually, my phone rang at a little after 5 o'clock in the morning. We thought it was the hospital calling to tell me that she had passed. But actually it was my mom, and she was not able to really talk much, but she was able to say 3 words. She was able to say, I love you. And that was all she was able to say. And then we did get another call from her the next day. The hospital said, your mom is alert and she would love to do a video chat with you. She was not able to speak, but she was conscious enough. And so we sang some of her favorite hymns and things like that with her. And she tried to sing along, which was really sweet. But that was the last time my mother was conscious. And then she died 4 days later. So that was a really tough time. My mom and I were not super close, but she was, I'm an only child and she was my only parent. I grew up in a single parent home. So that was a bit of a transition. I now am in a situation where I had no family. I had an aunt who had passed away a couple of years before, my mother's older sister. And my other aunt still has, actually, she's still living with lung cancer. And I had an uncle who I had no contact with. That was my only family from my mother's side that I had any knowledge of. And so I now am like the only person essentially, other than my one aunt who remains, because my uncle also passed away. So that's my family. That was my mom. And that was kind of a major challenge. And of course, I had to go through the grieving. I had to go through cleaning up all of her stuff and her apartment and everything, because I had no siblings for that to go through with that, who could come alongside of me and who could help me. It all fell on me. So that was kind of a major transition. Also that year, in fact, just a few days before my mom died, my oldest son graduated from high school. We did homeschool, but we utilized a charter school. So they had a graduation ceremony for the homeschool kids.
I remember that graduation.
It was the world's shortest graduation, 92 seconds. That was not exciting for him, not awesome. He was like, so I just went and picked up my diploma and that was it, and they played pomp and circumstance. He got to walk up on an outdoor stage, take off his mask, wave, get his little diploma, walk off the stage, wave again. And that was it. It was like, wow. So that was interesting. And then next year, so it was 2021, my second son graduated from high school. He graduated early. So it was interesting though now to have two of my kids graduate. In the midst of all of that, also, my daughter met and married the love of her life. And so we had a wedding in the middle of all of that. So that was kind of interesting. And this was, we moved partway through their relationship. He also is from Tennessee and actually was planning to move back here to the same area. And so he had moved back here actually just a couple of weeks before we did. And then we moved here. And then we had to go back to California for the wedding. So because obviously that was where her whole life had been up to that point. So we had the wedding. And then let's see here, what else? Also I had some injuries. We'll call them injuries. So so first I tore a ligament in my hand. And then just 2 weeks ago, I actually tore my ACL. So I've had some challenges this year with my health. And did I mention already that we moved across the country? Yes. Okay. We moved across the country. And let's see here. Oh, so in all of that, though, I had the incredible opportunity to earn a Mary Kay car. This was actually my fourth car that I've had the chance to earn. And we did this, actually, we picked it up right before we moved here, which was great. So that's what this picture is, my family. We had so much fun.
My favorite one. This is like it used to be in a commercial.
It's my absolute favorite picture of my family. So we just had a ball with that. And my favorite expression is my son, Sean. He's the one on the very end on the right. He's kind of like this. His face just cracks me up every time I see it. I love that picture. So but that was a ton of fun. And then we also, our unit went on to have our best year ever in the 2020 to 2021 year was our best year ever as a Mary Kay unit. But what I'm super pumped about is we are destroying that year this year with our best year ever right now. And I'm like, how is this even possible? All things considered. I mean, we just had a lot going on, and I'm so not a drama queen. I really do not like drama. So most of the stuff, I mean, a lot of people don't even know that half of it even happened because I just don't talk about it so much. I'm like, you know what? everybody's got life going on, so I just got to keep working. So, move on. And that's kind of how I do things. Again, going back to how my mom raised me, the Marine, and we just keep working. I mean, I don't usually tell this story a whole lot, but it's kind of funny. But when I got my first period, she made sure to tell me that, well, women have periods every single day. And you can't be one of those women who you have to stay home from work and you're laying about the bed and you're moaning and crying. You just have to get up and keep going to work. Keep living your life and keep doing what you need to do. And I'm like, okay. And
that was your talk.
That was my talk. So that was my mom and how I was raised. So needless to say, that's pretty much what I do.
Kept going. She would have expected nothing else. For you to pack up her stuff and have your best year ever. If there was no other way to honor her, that's the perfect way to honor her. That you prove that what the lesson that was most important that she taught you was to keep going, to not sit in your soup and to keep going. And you had your best year ever. So tell me, and this will be my last question. Tell me, because most people assume that if you are a boss babe killing it, working right now during the last 2 years, it's because you have an incredible, huge following on social media. You need to be an influencer. You've got to have all this experience and know how to work all the things, do the Facebook, the Instagram, the Reels, the stuff. So tell me what's your experience in your relationship with social media and how has that played or not played into your success this last year and a half?
Okay, so when it comes to social media, this is what describes me. I am so not good with social media. I have a Facebook account. I have an Instagram account. But I think I posted maybe 4 times on Instagram. I'm not sure. And I don't even know if I did it right. It was one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if anybody's seeing this. I will tell you, though, that I did a Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago and I did it in the wrong place. And so I was supposed to be doing it just for my unit. And then I'm like, why did so many people see that? And why am I getting so many comments on it? And then I realized I pasted on my personal page instead of in my Mary Kay group. It was hilarious. And so I'm like, oh. And I got some really great positive feedback from everybody. They're like, oh, you should go live more often and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's in the wrong place.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
So I am so not very good with social media at all. In fact, I honestly don't really love it at all. I don't like it even. I'm not an influencer at all in that regard. I would much rather just talk to you face to face rather than you see what's going on in my social media post. And I'm pretty sure that half of my friends don't even know I moved because I didn't post anything about it on Facebook.
I know. You literally are the only person to pick up and move across the country and there's not a single I don't even think you updated Facebook to a new city.
I don't even know how.
So for those people out there watching who are like, I would love to be brave enough to try something like this. Or for women who are already working virtually, whether it's in Mary Kay or they're doing something else. They have a business or something that they're passionate about and they aren't feeling super tech savvy. What is your best piece of advice? I lied then when I said that was my last question because I just thought of this one. What's your best piece of advice for anyone wanting to get good at working virtually, but they don't feel like they are like a social media guru?
Don't feel like you have to be. Just be you. Be authentic, have fun, and be willing to learn and be teachable. I mean, if you can do one thing more than what you did the day before or the week before or the month before, you're going to see progress. I still don't have a huge social media presence. And yet, I still have great sales. I still have a great unit. I still have a great business. It has nothing to do with social media. The people who are killing it and crushing it on social media, I'm so proud of them and so happy for them. It's not the lane I'm in. And I probably never will be a social media expert, and that's okay. I do what I can do. I can make a post here and there every now and again, but I don't have to be like everybody else. And I find my niche in something else. So I'm really great talking to people one-on-one. So I do a lot of my business is done one-on-one with people because that's where I thrive. And so I just found, what am I strong at? And then just really maximizing that rather than trying to focus on what everybody else is doing that I may or may not be good at. So I'm just going to focus on what I am good at.
So true. You know, Michelle, what I've watched the last year and a half is you have done exactly what you just said. Do one step at a time, one area at a time, not getting overwhelmed with trying to learn it all and do it all. What's one thing, one area that I can focus on this month to get good? And that's why you are the #1 director in our GOF family. So proud of you. The comments are coming in. I love it. I can't even keep up with them. Everyone is like cheering you on. So I can't wait to see what the rest of this year brings for you, because you are going to kill it. So we're going to draw.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So it just occurred to me too. The things that I'm not good at, that I know other people are good at, I let them do it. I delegate that to them. So I have one friend who is super good at social media type stuff and really tech savvy. And I pay her in product and go, hey, would you take care of this for me here? And she does it. So just a little FYI.
Yes. It's like, okay, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you and better than you, and utilize it. And we all come together. That's what I love about what I've learned to do in Mary Kay that was so different in my past career. And what I think you and I have done so well for 20 years is that we pull together like a team. We pull together and figure out who's good at this, who's good at that, and lift each other up. It's been such a good friendship, such a good partnership. I think you were the perfect person for our very first one, since you were one of the first friends I ever made when we were both starting out. I don't even know if I was 90 days old working my business at that point. I had just started working it within the last 3 months. Yeah, it's been so awesome. So let's draw a winner, and I'm going to let you look through the comments and pick a name, and they are going to get one of our fabulous masking pods. What'd you say?
I said, don't put that pressure on me.
Don't put that pressure on you. I love these masking pods. And so you're going to be seeing these a lot during our Pink Table Talks, because I think they are the perfect self-care. And that's what this is all about. Each time we do it a couple times a month is bringing us together, chatting about the things, problems and issues that we all face, and how did we overcome them so that we can apply it. All right. Do you see somebody?
I'm trying to figure out who some of these people are, because some of them have really great comments and it just says Facebook user. So I don't know who it is.
I know. It's hard when it's Facebook user. So
okay, I'm just gonna scroll and just hit a name and whatever pops up. Okay,
do that.
So Christine Bigham.
Woohoo! Christine Bigham, you win. We're gonna make sure you get one of these masking pods. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, tonight. Thank you for being my first guest, Michelle. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday, same time, 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 Mountain, 8:30 Central, 9:30 over there in Tennessee and the East Coast. And we'll see you next time, ladies. Bye-bye. Good night.